Hello, and welcome back to the Dwarven Tavern review of Pathfinder Unchained. This is, we're continuing and hopefully finishing up, although this book has a lot of information. The section on magic has one of the coolest things ever since the invention of the written word, and that is the simplification of spell casting. Yes. For first level wizard who only knows my reading skills are like, for a first level wizard who knows only a small handful of spells, it isn't too hard to decide which spells to prepare each day. But a 20th level wizard could easily have more than 60 spells from which to select. Choosing them can eat up quite a bit of time, leaving the other players in your game twiddling their fingers. Yes, I said twiddling. With simplified spellcasting, you keep track of only your 3 highest levels of spells, and all the other spells are placed in a pool which you can use on the fly. And very similar to my own preferred spellcasting rules. Only I let them choose on the fly everything, but I like this rule. Number of spells in the pool is smaller than the number of lower level spells you could otherwise cast, but the pool is more flexible than preparing all the spells in advance would be, and allows you to save tricky decision making for your most important spells. Because the system affects only your 3 highest levels of spells, it doesn't change anything for a character who isn't able to cast yet 4th level spells. Okay. I'll buy that. It has the tables for a magus or a war priest, a cleric, druid, shaman, witch, or wizard, and it allows. It's got the list of the 0 to 1st level spells you get, and the pool. So it's very. Okay. So then we get to spell alterations. You can limit magic as a character gains level under the normal magic system if the efficacy of her spells can swing wildly, necessitating a constant reevaluation of each spell's utility. The limited magic rules are meant to keep spells' power more tightly tiered by spell level and reduce the amount by which a caster's power level escalates. You can use this or not. These are all, I think these are all optional rules. That accounts for limited magic, and then it has wild magic, which I don't know if I've ever liked. I don't know if I've ever liked wild magic. It's kind of cool on a magical fumble type thing. So when you fail a concentration check, when you're hit with a dispel or a counter spell, when you're wild zones, that's the thing that I never really liked. Although it's possible, I never dug that. Then boost casting with a meta magic feat. If you fail the check, you'll be hit by wild magic. And wild magic includes everything from the caster is confused for a round. The caster is affected by reduced person. A shatter spell affects a 5-foot radius. Oh my goodness, the potions and the tankards. If you did that in a tavern, could you imagine? The next targeting caster is turned back as a spell turning, and so forth and so on. So it accounts for a lot of various possibilities. It also has a spell fumble table. Then it gets to a really cool chapter. It's still the chapter 4, but it gets to a really cool section of the chapter, which is esoteric material components, like rare and exotic components that you can use that can heighten your spells and give your spells greater effect. These materials are entropic resin, prismatic sand, geodes, verdant salts, and Iliaster, which is a rare component. And these components replace other components, but these components are harder to find, and it's just like the difference between using, like, if a spell calls for like a piece of silver, you use platinum instead, or something like that. It would change it. This is by no means comprehensive. It is for what it is. I did not say it is what it is. It is comprehensive in what it has included. Duh. Of course it is. But it also gives you, the DM, a way to customize your own game and put in things that can do this as well. This sort of thing, and it has like the benefits of these components, such as if you use a geode in your spell that requires it, instead of just a normal instead of the normal spell component, material component. It has the greater component effect. Treat your caster level as though it were 2 higher for determining the duration of the spell. Makes your spell last longer by 2 of your levels. And limited magic effects. Use your full caster level instead of the minimum during the duration of the spell. So it heightens the spell's abilities because you're using a geode. And you can make a total cool list of things that you could include in this esoteric spell component. It just makes the imagination go wild, which is something I love. Instead of it's new rules, yes, but instead of limiting and encapsulating everything, it actually opened up an entire new field of thought for creating new spells, and not creating new spells, but to enhance your spellcasters if you have a spellcasting campaign, which, I think just about everybody does. So it also includes an automatic bonus progression, which it allows you to do things like I'll read the first part of it. In order to face the dangers of the game, characters in a Pathfinder RPG normally need items that grant bonuses to their statistics. With this variant, a character instead gains those bonuses automatically as they increase in levels, allowing them to use magic item slots for more interesting items. I'm pretty sure I like that idea. All characters gain the abilities listed below when they reach the appropriate level. Okay, so at 3rd level, nothing happens at 1st and 2nd because you're totally green and new. But when you get to 3rd level, you get a +1 resistance to something. At 4th level, you get a +1 to armor and weapon attunement. What does that mean? Well, let's see. Weapon attunement: attune yourself to 1 suit of armor or 1 shield in your possession. She can change that attunement once per day. If she selects a normal set of clothing as her armor, it counts as having a starting enhancement of +0. Attuned suit of armor gains +1 bonus at 4th level, and at 8th level you can split that attunement between a suit of armor and a shield, gaining each a +1. So you know how that hero has that sword that he's used, or she has used, for all those years, and everybody said, well, that's the legendary sword. Green Destiny, for example, in Hidden Couch, Hiding, Stalking Refrigerator. That the Green Destiny was the sword, right? And was it magic? Probably not. Didn't start out that way. And the same thing with Lone Wolf, the Lone Wolf samurai, who was a Ronin, but his sword was touted as being magical, even though it probably wasn't when he started out. It's probably a really good sword, yes, but in his hands, it became a magical sword over the course of time. So this is really cool. It's on page 156. Let's dig it. At 6th level, mental prowess, the 6th level character chooses 1 mental ability to gain a permanent +2 enhancement. So, older and wiser, right? Same thing, it gives you resistance, toughening, legendary gifts, which is legendary ability, legendary armor, body 2, mine to Shieldmaster, twin weapons, and legendary weapon. So it's pretty cool. And these are automatically gained throughout your character's career. So way cool. Way cool. Really dig that. And that's incorporated into my games from hither forward. Then it has innate item bonuses, which it is very... well, I'll read it. Might as well. Some GMs may find themselves frustrated by the need for players to seek out magic items granting specific bonuses. Under the new system, characters gain the statistical bonus they're expecting to gain from the magic items as they level up, so long as they have any item in the relevant slot, instead of needing specific items. The system involves minimal alterations to existing items and works especially well for campaigns with higher than normal wealth. So, if you spend 4,000 to 9,999 gold pieces, the enhancement bonus to physical ability scores is +2. And the price increase of that thing is plus 4,000 gold pieces. And so forth. It goes up to 144,000 gold pieces, and you get +6 to all 3 scores. Head slot items, neck slot items, and shoulder slot items, and rings, and so forth. So, very cool possibilities there. And again, this section, like the other sections in the past, just kind of open up the game. Instead of limiting it to this stuff, it opens up the game to a whole bunch of, your own ideas and adding your own stuff to it. So, I'm really digging this. Scaling items. If you typically a player character find themselves buying and scaling or selling magic items as they gain levels to keep up with the increasing threats they face. Items come and go from each character's inventory with such frequency they hardly have the chance to impact the game's story. Scaling items, however, increase in power along with the characters who carry them, allowing an old and cherished item to develop and retain its utility rather than being sold and forgotten. Well, this is a sentimentalist's view of things, so it could be very, very cool. And it has a list of things like from sell prices for spell levels and scaling items by value, 5, 15, and 30%, and how it relates to the character per level and all that good stuff. And it's a neat system. It may be a little... Well, you may like it. I don't know. I may like it too. I'm not really sure. I haven't used it yet. And then it's got this whole list of magical things like Blutish Boots and so forth. And it has dynamic item creation and the rules for creating new items. Random challenges that characters face for creating a certain item, like, challenging construction, for instance. One or more elements of your item's design are particularly difficult to execute, and the tasks that you must perform is an engineering, a knowledge engineering DC of 25 for blueprint and plan, and rely on your craftsmanship, which is a craft of that item's type, of the DC 20 plus the item's caster level. The results: the critical success is minus a day and minus 10% cost, and the critical failure is 15 plus 15% of the cost and a flaw. So you haven't failed it completely. It just, it's just harder to make and easier to botch. Which, then they've got things, it's really cool stuff like ley line convergence. The item's creation is dependent on the energy of intersecting ley lines. If you know what a ley line is, leave it in the comment. Tell us what you know a ley line to be. Or of another magical location, you have to use adjust accordingly a knowledge arcana DC 20 plus the caster's level, and find the perfect spot, which is a knowledge geography DC of 25. So these are really, really cool challenges. And I'm telling you right off the bat, I'm giving this 5 out of 5 axes, because it's an incredibly cool set of previously unthought of things. Then it's got a list of flaws and other things like that that are equally at the level of cool that the rest of this book is. Then it has the section which is chapter 5, which is monsters, and it doesn't have any specific monsters, but or does it? It's got a few. It has a few specific monsters, but this is all about the creation thereof. You can create your monster types and give them character classes, set up an array for their combatants, expert, spellcaster, using an array to do the CR, AC, saving throws, CMD, HP and DCs, PDQ, ABC, MOUS. Ability modifiers, skills, attack and damage, and all that stuff. The combatant array, main statistics, it's got a very, very detailed table, which you know me and my tables, right? Then it has the spellcasters and spellcaster attacks and creature type or class craft for Fae and alchemists and barbarians and humanoids and magical beasts and so forth. And it goes into great and detailed detail. Then it has the subtype graph. Then it has spells that you can give them and all the spell-like abilities, and then all your various monster options, such as bombs, like the kind that you would have for the Bombardier's Beetle, or the religious fanatic. That is a monster. Straight up, I'm going to say that. Yes, I got upon that bus, and it blew up. Fear attack, fear aura, poison, swap places, and so forth. And then it has the list of what all those do. So, there you have it. It is it's very comprehensive in one aspect, and in another aspect, it just completely opens the door for your imagination just to go berserk and haywire, which is one of the things that I love about this book and other books like it, which there are few, unfortunately. A lot of books that I've read are, the more comprehensive they are, the more limited they are in the choices that you can make. But this is very comprehensive, but it still opens up the mind for all kinds of potential and possibilities and such. So yeah, it's incredibly cool. And as I said before, it does have a few things like fire giants and imps and bat swarms and wargs and zombie minotaurs, etc., etc. As an example of what they are and how they do, or how they are and what they do. This book, as it says on the back, it's off the leash, and it is really true. It's a very good book. You give it 5 axes. It is Pathfinder Unchained from Paizo.com. Don't forget to look them up. I have a lot of good things, and this is going in my every game library section instead of right in with the Pathfinder stuff, because while we have a Pathfinder campaign going on at this very moment, not this very moment, but now roughly, while we have a Pathfinder game going on, this is also going to be in my other games as well, my 3.5 compatible games, and used as a serious reference book for all that stuff, because it's incredibly cool. Incredibly cool. Don't forget to look them up. And don't forget to look us up at www.dwarventavern.net and like and subscribe and all that good stuff, because we're here for you. And so that's it. Yeah, Pathfinder Unchained from Paizo.com. On behalf of the entire cast and crew of the Dwarven Tavern, I am Dr. Jeff Goins, and I wish for you to want for nothing but adventure. And at first I feared it, then I charged. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Let the games begin.